Michael, if you'd like to join us on our left. Thank you, everyone. Oh, there we go. We're all set. Michael, if you just talk into the mic, nice and close. Same with you, Olivia. Thank you very much. Okay, then. You now have about, I think, 40 minutes or so of all things Japan. Now, we're going to start with a panel. I don't have everyone's title in front of me. I'm very sorry. So I'll mention your name. If you could then give us your title, please. So we have Kenji-san at the end. Kenji, you're from?
I'm from JTB.
JTB?
Yeah.
I do remember Olivia's surname, Hernandez, because it's not very Japanese, Hernandez.
I'm obviously not Japanese myself, but I've been living in Japan for 9 years.
Okay.
8 years with Destination Asia Japan, and I am the head of leisure FIT.
And your accent doesn't sound very Latin either.
Yes, it is very Latin indeed. I'm from
is?
the Canary Islands in Spain.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Wow, that's a long way away. And we have Michael. And Michael, you're from?
I'm from Japan World Tours, and so we are based in Tokyo.
Okay, then. So again, if I ask all our speakers to kiss the microphone, basically, just so our listening audience can hear us. So the reason we're focusing on Japan today and at our live shows tomorrow in Toronto, then in San Francisco, is here at Goway, and I think you could all say, not just with Goway, but Japan is very, very popular at the moment with international tourism. Is that correct?
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So for us here at Goway, it's our largest seller within the Asia department. And with it, now I don't sell Asia. I do have Latin experience, but not Japanese experience in that respect to selling. But I do know from speaking to our destination specialists that there's a lot of intricacies and special things about when they visit Japan, from organisation, from trains to accommodation, to the choices of accommodation, etc. So we will talk about some of those today. I have some questions, obviously, right in front of us. We'll try and get through them all. If not, we can come back to them at a later date. So as I just mentioned, Japan is a booming right now. So from your vantage point on the ground, because you're all based actually in Japan, because Olivia, you said you've been living in Japan for 9 years.
For 9 years, correct.
Kenji-san, you are Japanese and live in Japan. Michael, you're the same, correct?
I actually live in Toronto, but the business is in Japan. I travel to Japan about 4 or 5 times a year.
Right, okay, fair enough. Okay, so what do you think is driving? Why is Japan so popular? Kenji, would you like to start?
Yeah. Recently, Japanese yen is so weak against the US dollars and Canadian dollars. So everything looks so cheap for many travelers. And some of the clients just come to Japan for shopping.
Right, really?
But also some of the exclusive activity are reasonable for many of them. So yeah, Japan is becoming so popular.
Okay, Libby, would you agree, disagree, or want to expand on that?
I do agree. I think it was the momentum after reopening, after COVID, because the country was closed for almost 3 years. And then is what Kenji-san said, that the yen is now weak compared to the US dollar, to the euro, etc. So I'm going to give you an example, Don. Before COVID, we have the backpackers staying anywhere. After COVID, now they can't even afford staying in a 3-star hotel, backpackers, because it's cheaper.
Really?
Right? Yeah. When I go back to my country on holidays, let's say I feel like I'm bankrupt. That's the opposite from our clients. They say that now going to Japan most of the time is good value for money. And you can see in Ginza, in Tokyo area, a lot of people lining up in a store such as Christian Dior, or Chanel, because now buying a bag there is cheaper.
Okay, because it's interesting, because I had this conversation with Moira, who you would have hopefully met this morning via digitally, that is, who's our VP of the Asia department. And I'll get Michael to expand on this, because my wife actually said to me last night, she had some friends who'd been to Japan recently, and they said it was very, very affordable. I went, really? I always thought Japan was, at times very expensive, if not expensive. She said, no, they found it affordable. So I spoke to our team this morning and said, can you clarify affordable for me? And what they came up with was a comparison of food, etc., would be cheaper than, say, Toronto or New York. Accommodation would, again, it varies, there's different choices, but on par, it would be the same as Toronto or New York. So in that world, it is very affordable. So Do you also agree, Michael, that's one of the reasons you see people looking at Japan more, because that past reputation, at least, of it being expensive is not the case anymore?
Yeah, absolutely. The Japanese yen has been weakening over the last couple of years, and that has helped a lot with affordability and package tours to Japan being almost cheaper than going to Europe these days.
Really?
However, I think one of the things that we tend to forget as well is, a destination can be cheap, but it doesn't mean people will go. I believe Japan, the product Japan is a really good product. And on top of that, it being affordable makes it, very attractive for people to go. And that's been, I believe, the big reason of the big surge in numbers to Japan.
Right.
Yeah.
But I also think that even when Japan was more expensive than it is now, the country itself is an attraction. Like people they'd be willing, and we're talking past now, and it's even more promising that it is more affordable now. But because the country is so culturally rich, so ancient in its history, and yet at the same time so modern, and all the flashing lights and bells and whistles in very general terms is there. So it's still, even if costs were a bit higher, the country itself is so attractive for all those reasons. So on that note, I'll throw this to anyone. If people are looking to book a trip and my client comes to one of our agents out there and they're saying, the first question is, one, is it affordable? Which we've ascertained it is, much more so than it was. How long should I spend? So let's start with Michael. So there's the class, is it the Golden Route?
Yeah,
Is that the term? Golden Route,
Yeah.
which is?
Which is Tokyo, Hakone, Kyoto, and Osaka.
Okay, so generally speaking, a first-time traveler, that's what they'll do. Like there is so much more to Japan than that, but first-time traveler, that's probably what they would hit. So let me hit Michael with that question. First-time traveler doing the Golden Route, to quote the question here, what's the sweet spot in time or length of time?
From North America, it is a long-haul flight. You're looking at anywhere from 9 hours from the West Coast, 12, 13 hours flight from the East Coast. So it's not a destination you would go for the weekend type of thing.
Right, even for Disneyland.
Right. So I believe the sweet spot for, just kind of a highlights to do the Golden Route type, we'd be looking at about 9 to 10 nights in Japan.
Okay, and that will give you the Golden Route in comfort,
Right.
in regards to time and
However,
not being too
I
rushed.
believe most people going on such a long flight across to Japan tend to stay a bit longer than that.
Okay.
So we see the trend about 2 weeks, 13, 14 nights, up to about 20 nights or so for some people
Really?
who have a bit more time, semi-retired people, retired people who would spend a bit more time.
So are those numbers reflective of North American travelers or travelers in general?
Actually, North American travelers do tend to spend a little bit longer than
Really? Okay.
regional tourism, from around Japan,
Okay.
where the flights are 4 or 5 hours from Singapore, from Taiwan, or from
Right. Okay. Yeah, because often a lot of our agents out there will deal with American clients, and they don't have those who are not retired don't have as much holiday time. So often we find Americans will travel lesser times than Canadians. But again, when you start throwing in the semi-retired and fully retired, it becomes a different conversation. So beyond the Golden Route, Olivia and Kenji-san, let's say you've done the Golden Route and you're going back for a second visit and you're maybe looking at Kyushu or, I don't know my geography that well, northern Japan or other areas of Japan. For a second trip, what would be a good period of time to visit other regions of Japan?
Yeah, I'll say the Kanagawa is a best probably destination in addition to the Golden Route, because we'll probably talk about the over tourism later, but the Kanagawa is not so much crowded compared with the Tokyo and Kyoto, and Kanagawa's got lots of history and lots of the craft work studio everywhere around the Kanagawa city. So if they want to focus on the more culture and history and the things to do and the place to go, Kanagawa will be the best place to enjoy in addition to the Golden Route.
Okay, and Olivia, because again, this is sort of Genji-san led into the next question of over-tourism, which is not just something that's happening in Japan, but it's a worldwide
It's a
phenomenon.
worldwide problem.
Yeah, so more and more people are looking at getting away from using Japan, the golden route. Now again, first-time travellers will probably do it because it's the
They
highlights.
will still
Yeah,
probably
but-
do the golden route. But in my opinion, I would say that we have this problem with over-tourism in Japan, unfortunately. There's, as it is probably the number one destination now for travelers around the world. We see it all the time on social media. And I have, every month I get at least one message from someone in my country saying, hey, I'm going to Japan, can you please help me? My friends, my family, we see it everywhere. So I would say that we have seen people wanting to go a little bit off the beaten path. That is now one of the trends that we have seen in Japan. And to me, still, for example, for first-time travelers, they still will have to do the golden route, but we can maybe do it with a twist.
Yes.
And what we are trying, for example, at my company at Destination Asia Japan, it's to, for example, promote Nagoya as a city and Aichi prefecture. Because Nagoya, as I said, is not really like different from Tokyo. It's a smaller city. It has nothing really special about it. What it makes it special is that it is still in the way from Hakone to Kyoto, and it has a lot of little villages around in the main city where you can do a lot of experiences, hands-on experiences, see the local life, and that's what we are trying to promote. And then, of course, other areas such as Kyushu. For example, if we have clients that are interested in experiencing the onsen, they will probably go to Hakone, right? But don't forget about Beppu, which is also an onsen town, right? And that's located in Kyushu, right?
Okay.
And also we have seen a lot of clients asking for Hokkaido, which is the island in the north, and not only for ski holidays, but also for summer, because there's a lot of nature-related activities that clients could do there.
Right, that's okay. A few things that you mentioned there. One is we have done a really good webinar on Kyushu. If anyone wants to go into our Goway Pro area, you can find that, because Kyushu is a burgeoning destination within Japan, again, looking away from the Golden Route. Going back to Michael's point of people spending extended time, linking back to Olivia's comment there that you would do the Golden Route if you're a first-time travel, but then adds a twist, add something on, Kyushu or Hokkaido, like something skiing even. And then there are certain niche things, like there's Disneyland, there is anime, I believe, is a very popular thing as well now. So there's more than just the usual, again, to Japan as well. Now, one thing I need to point out too is we have 3 representatives here from different companies in Japan. I think we have another 2 people speaking after this, because I think Kenji-san will present himself in a moment. And then we have 4 or 5, I think, Japan representatives coming up. So that goes to, Japan's not complicated, but there are different areas that different people specialize in. So as I mentioned, there's anime, which some people do. There's the Disneyland, there's the standard stuff, all that sort of thing. So from structuring an itinerary, we'll start with Kenji-san, am I right? Is it complicated to build an itinerary for Japan, from booking accommodation, be it a 5-star Marriott, to maybe a ryokan, to the bullet trains, to private transport, public transport? Is it easy for an agent to build an itinerary?
So they need to learn and creating the good itinerary
Right,
for hearing the agents and the clients, and because many clients and will talk to what they want to do in the bucket list.
Yes.
But if it's too much, and it's really hard to make it a realistic itinerary. So we'll just communicate with the agent frequently, and how many days and what they have to do, and then they will help them to create and make it like 7 days or 10 days or something realistic.
Okay. Olivia, let me ask you this question as a foreigner. Getting around Japan, if you don't speak Japanese, and if you want to maybe get off the beaten track, which we're all recommending. So if someone is basically Goway books your trains or your transfers, but you're walking around the streets, or you want to do something, you want to go out for dinner on your own, communication. I would assume English is widely used in the bigger cities, maybe in the small villages not so much, but is getting around easy?
Oh, Don, I have to say that usually Japanese don't feel comfortable talking in another language. But
Really?
even
Okay.
if they don't speak the language, they will always try to help you.
Okay.
No question about that.
Right.
Even if you are in little villages, there will always be someone wanting to help. But as I said, Japan is so popular now that even in other cities such as Kanazawa, Takayama, you can see the signs in English as well. It's not
Oh,
difficult
really?
to navigate, but that's why you are also using a DMC, right? Because
Yes, of course.
we are the experts, right? And when building up an itinerary, we make sure that everything makes sense, right? And many times we have the question of, oh, it's so difficult to sell Japan. It is not difficult to sell Japan. The only thing that we need to keep in mind is that some things might work differently than in other countries, but at the end of the day, everything works, right? And there is always a reason behind it. When we say we can't do this or we don't recommend it, it's because we know it's not a good idea. There is a reason behind it, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And I think Japan
Yeah.
is a wonderful country, and even if you don't feel comfortable going there, not knowing Japanese, or you see the letters that are different and so on, it's okay.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the. I was in Japan many, many years ago. I can't call myself an expert on it, but I think Japan's famous for one. Its politeness, its organization, everything being generally on time and structured well. Michael, is self-driving a good choice for Japan? Is it chaotic in any way, driving, be it in the cities or remote areas?
It's something that's growing in Japan. There
Okay.
tends to be more demand for self-driving, but to address back a little bit, step back about over-tourism and self-driving. It's a
Yes,
little-
please. Yep.
So, over-tourism, Japan does not suffer from over-tourism. It's Tokyo and Kyoto and Osaka. who
Right, the
suffers
Golden
from
Route. The Golden Route, yeah.
over-tourism.
Yeah.
So, a lot of other areas in Japan, such as, the two islands of Kyushu and Shikoku, there's no over-tourism.
Okay.
And those are wonderful places to visit. And so, in those places, there's not a lot of people who live there. It's all countryside. It's rice farms, and rice fields. It's really beautiful mountains. And the highways are beautiful roads, highways, and anybody can drive. There's no
Right,
traffic. It's easy to drive. And the car rentals in Japan, they provide you with a GPS in English and everything.
Okay.
And so it's quite easy. Us here from North America, we just have to get used to driving on the other side of the road.
Right.
That's sometimes it takes a little bit getting used to, but more and more people from Canada and the U.S. now are doing self-drives, especially in Kyushu and Shikoku, sometimes in Hokkaido as well.
Really? Excellent. Well, because I'm an ex-guy and I love driving around, and it's good to hear. And again, I'm an Australian, so I'm going to say in Japan they drive on the correct side of the road because we drive on the same side as Japan. A question, I'll throw this out to anyone who'd like to answer. Booking times, as in booking ahead. Now, obviously, I would say for anything in the Golden Route, based on Michael's claim, of over-tourism and let's not use the word over-tourism, which it is, it's popularity. So booking ahead for the Golden Route versus maybe booking ahead for somewhere like Kyushu, and particularly things like for cherry blossom season, how far should people, we'll go right to left again. Kenji-san, how far ahead should someone be looking to book and arrange their trip?
During the cherry blossom season, it's really hard to book the hotel if very short notice.
Right.
So we normally suggest to book the hotel around the September to October, so that the yearly rate for the next year will be available at that timing.
When is the cherry blossom season, just for those who may not know?
Sorry.
Yep.
Cherry blossom season normally around the Tokyo to the Kyoto, something like late March to early April.
Okay, so you're saying booking September the year before.
Yeah,
Okay.
so something like more than half a year before.
Okay.
There are several options for 5-star hotel to 4-star hotel, and you got a lot of choices, and you can choose the hotel according to their budget.
Okay, so I would assume, Olivia, that booking ahead, be it for cherry blossom or in general, is primarily your hotel's the biggest obstacle to book at a certain time ahead.
Yeah. Certainly, the many hotels are booked out.
Right.
If something like 1 month before the cherry blossom season. So.
Okay. Olivia, and maybe other areas, do you have a bit more lead time, say Kyushu or
I
other areas?
think it doesn't matter which part of Japan you're traveling to. I would recommend people to do it as soon as possible. I always say for Japan, the sooner the better, right? And now, for example, in my opinion, the biggest bottleneck is not really the hotels, it's the guides.
Really?
Because
Okay.
if you wait too long to book, for example, for March or April, probably all the good guides are already booked for other trips.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So this is something that I always recommend to our clients, and it doesn't matter if it is Kyushu or if it is Kansai area. The sooner the better, because also there are a lot of local experiences such as dinner with a geisha, tea ceremony, sumo lunch that gets fully booked, especially during peak season, right? And it probably clients will still have the opportunity to book a hotel and go to Japan, but you're going to miss all those local experiences.
Okay. Well, that's good. That sort of touches on one of our other questions, which I'll come back to in a moment. So, Michael, do you agree with, I guess you would agree with that because you're in the same position.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, book as early as you can. I agree with
Right.
Olivia, and obviously with the surge in demand for tourism in Japan, there's a shortage of guides. I do agree with that. And to get the good guides, you have to book early. I always suggest, 1 year out. I say people
1
ask
year
me,
out.
I say 1 year. All
Okay.
right, it's easy, and we know flights open up like 11 months ahead.
Correct, yeah.
So 330 days, you can book your flights, book your package. You can.
Okay. So, I guess on erring on the side of real caution, a year out, but no later than 6 months, particularly for cherry blossom, but 6 months in general. Now, again, it's like any destination. You might have a last-minute request, and we will go looking for you in partnership with our partners to find you space. But like many things, if you want your choice of hotel and or experience, you need to book, as Michael says, as far ahead as you can to guarantee or closely guarantee getting a guide.
And as well,
Yes,
if I
please.
may add, the prices will be better. The later you book, the prices
The
go
more
up,
expensive it gets,
obviously.
which is common as well. Okay, and that's, I think, a very important thing that Olivia brought up about the guides, because a lot of people think there's guides everywhere, which there generally are, but good guides, certified, registered guides as well, because I believe all your guides in Japan need to be trained and registered, correct?
Well, from our point of view, in Destination Asia, we do training with all the guides, right? And they go through different interviews and a process before they start working with us. However, now the law has changed in Japan, and you don't now need like a document or anything to say that you are an official guide.
Oh, you
Anyone
don't?
can do it.
Oh,
And let me
okay.
tell you something, Don. Probably you don't know this, but the majority of our guides are not young people. There's not really a young generation. It's just people that has retired professors, teachers,
Okay.
that they still think that they can do something more, and they become guides. And they are good, of course, because they have the knowledge and they love the country and they speak the language, right? But there's no like a younger generation of guides going in Japan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very interesting. Okay. Michael, this one, in a response Olivia gave a minute ago about guides and booking ahead, she mentioned things like geisha, is that the correct pronunciation? Called geisha tea, sumo lunch. You mentioned something else?
Tea ceremonies, for example. But
Tea
there's
ceremonies.
a lot of more experiences that you can do in Japan.
Well, that was my question to Michael. What else can you do that's different that you could add on to a golden route, or just go and do specifically that's different than the usual?
The experiences, like the traditional ones, are tea ceremony, geisha experience in Kyoto. But there are many, many other things you can do in Japan. You can do one thing that's really popular these days is doing some cooking classes in Japan. That's very popular. So you can get hands-on and learn how to roll sushi, and then you can have it for your own lunch. You can make your own lunch.
Okay.
However, there are other things. Japan is very famous for knives, and,
yes, yeah.
and something that's really becoming popular now. People want to have a knife experience where you can actually go and see them forge a blade, and then you can you don't do it yourself, but you kind of put the handle on it.
Sure,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
you can engrave your name on the blade, and you have a nice souvenir from Japan.
Okay. Nice.
And so little things like calligraphy,
Yes.
is quite unique as well in Japan. If you have families traveling, you can have origami classes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask, Kenji-san, so with those examples, you could do that as a half-day experience or a day experience, but if someone wanted to learn calligraphy, and one thing I have on my social feeds is Japanese masters who make the teapots. You watch them out of the clay. That's right. If someone wanted to do that for a week or 2 weeks, can that be arranged?
Wow. It's definitely necessary to book in. It's necessary to book in advance.
Of course.
Yes.
But it could be done as someone, or a group or a club who are into pottery or calligraphy. Again, nothing's guaranteed, but if they had that request, they could request of it.
Yeah, that's not necessary yet.
Can you do homestays in Japan? Can you live with a family for a day, a night, extended periods of time?
Well, homestay a little bit hard to arrange,
Right.
Because and service quality is not really secure. So we do for the school groups occasionally, but for the schools not really popular for our market.
Really?
So
Okay, interesting.
but we arrange the home visit.
Home visit, okay.
And we'll arrange the home visit and do cultural activity,
Okay.
like calligraphy or tea ceremony at the home.
Okay.
So that would be more, suitable for the first timer and
Fair enough.
the people really want to experience Japan.
Okay. Okay, so we're running out of time, I believe. Ian, do you know? Am I coming up? Okay, so I got one question for the three of you before we sign off. If I'll go left to right this time. We'll start with Michael. If you had one piece of advice for a travel advisor trying to sell more Japan, what would it be?
Don't wait. Add Japan to your product portfolio right now. Get some training in the destination and proactively offer it to your clients. Don't wait for them to ask you for Japan. You'd be surprised how many people accept your proposals.
Well, there you go. Olivia?
I would say focus on experiences, not only in the destinations. Ask your clients what they would like to experience in Japan and build the itinerary around that.
Okay, then. And Kenji-san?
So the question again?
The last question is one piece of advice for our travel advisors on how to sell more Japan.
Okay, so tell the story.
Tell the story. Okay.
Yeah, and then we are not selling the price, so we are selling the value.
Right.
So we have to tell the story and to make the dream designer.
Okay. So you have met here three of our partners. You'll meet another two or three as they present. So we are backed up. Goway are backed up by people on ground who know the country very, very well. And our destination specialists, many have lived in Japan. If they haven't, they travel there extensively. So they know the destination probably not as well. Some do, as well as our partners here. But between the team of us here, as our guest here today said, present Japan. It's an affordable option now. Come up with or ask your clients for what they want to do, from just the stock standard golden route to something a bit more involved with some of the special experiences we mentioned. And in partnership, we'll put together that perfect itinerary for you. So on that note, I'd like to thank our guests, Kenji-san, Olivia, and Michael. We're now going to transition across. Kenji-san's going to stay where he is. He's now going to present. Well, thank you. Are you coming back to present as well, Olivia? Today? No, not today. Michael, are you coming back? So we'll have Michael back as well. So we're now going to transition out live on camera. So Kenji-san, I'll ask you to remain. And we'll get Ian back in his seat and we'll move on to our next presentation. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.